Hello friends. Today we are going to study about zoo geography and factors that are going to affect the animal distribution. Well, to understand that what is zoo geography, we need to understand that zoo geography. So as you all have studied this word already, zoo basically means animals and geography basically is the distribution of these animals on the landmass. In simple words, we can say that zoo geography is a study of geographical distribution of animals. So basically, like we know already that zoo, that is animals, and geography is going to be the geographical distribution. So how the animals are distributed in the various landmass, that we are going to study in zoo geography. So the vertebrates especially have characteristic patterns of ways of distribution depending on landmasses of continents. That is, various vertebrates and invertebrates, they have been distributed throughout the world, and that we are going to study. So distribution, when we talk about, that can be divided into, or that can be studied at three different levels. First is at the geographical level, which is over the whole world, that is in the entire world, on the entire planet earth, how animals are distributed. That is one way of classifying them or one way of studying them. Second is regional one. What is the meaning of regional over here now? In certain in our own region, okay, like let us say that Asian, let us take a continent over here, or rather we can take India. So when you take a particular region and studying the animal distribution in that particular region. Third one is going to be local. So when you say local, it is basically the geographical distribution of animals in your particular area, okay, where you are living. Now, the first person to come up with this was Sclater, who in the year 1857 actually was the first one to give the concepts of zoo geography, and then obviously Wallace came in 1876. So, majorly that has been divided into six realms or six regions. So, this based on animal distribution, this landmass can be divided into six various regions. The first one being the Palearctic region. Second one is Nearctic region. Third is Neotropical region. Fourth one is Ethiopian. Fifth one is Oriental region. And sixth one is Australian region. So today we are going to see this region. We are going to talk about its climatic conditions. And we are also going to talk about the animals which are found over that area. Now this is just a simple picture, and we can see various colors over here with the everyone should know about the map very well. You should know about the world map quite well to understand where this belongs to. Like the first one is Palearctic. Then this is the African region. This one is Oriental region. This is the Australian one, Neotropical and Nearctic. Now one should know that earlier when Sclater had divided this, or when he had made this zoo geographical realms, he actually divided into two realms. One he called it as Paleogena, and another one was called as Neogena. Now he mentioned that Paleogena is going to be the old world, where he involved Palearctic first, second the Ethiopian region. Now obviously the name has been changed to African region. Third one is Indian. Now the name has been changed to Oriental, and then the Australian region. So these are the four regions, or these are the four areas which belong to Paleogena realm, and this is also called as Old World. And there is second realm called as Neogena, as the word says neo. Neo means new, and that area includes the New World, which includes Nearctic and Neotropical. So this we are going to see that is the North America and the South America. So this was the division, or this was the classification done by Sclater, and further on obviously by Wallace. So let us start with the first one, which is called the Palearctic region. So you can see in this particular map very clearly the Palearctic region. Now what does this part includes? This includes Europe, Russia, then basically it will have all the Pacific coast up to the Sahara and everything it will have. And when you talk about the climatic condition over here, so obviously the Eastern Asia, which is going to be there, it has got temperate and deciduous forest. And in the northern side, which is there, there will be grasslands, and it will be quite arid. So now the animals which are going to be found over there, so yes, we can see here. So it includes the northern part of the old world, and which extends up to Europe, China, Japan, North Sahara, Siberia, Mediterranean and all. And here the climate specifically or chiefly or majorly it is temperate over here. And here this region has around 135 families of terrestrial vertebrates, which includes 33 family of mammals, 68 birds, 24 reptiles, 10 amphibians and 13 freshwater fishes. Again, this region can be further divided into obviously European subregion. So when you say European subregion, that will include the northern and central Europe, that is the Black Sea, and then comes the Mediterranean subregion. So this Mediterranean subregion obviously will include southern Europe, Arabian, Afghanistan, Balochistan, some part of Russia and all. Then we have Siberian subregion, which will include northern Asia. Okay, and then we have last one that is called as Manchurian subregion, which will include Mongolia, Japan, Korea, Tibet, northern China, etc. So you can see the animals which are found over here. I think all of you have been knowing about the llama. Then there is European salamander, giant salamander, red panda, moose, and Chinese alligator. So these are various animals found over here. So there are various mammals. So as we have seen in the previous slides, around 33 family of land mammals are found over here, which include rabbits, jumping mice, flying squirrels. Then there is also beavers, hedgehog, porcupine, giant panda, hyena, pigs, mole rat, camel is also there. Okay, so these are going to be found over here. Apart from that, we have also aves over here. So the aves almost have around 53 families of aves, which includes obviously pheasants, finches, warblers, seabirds, then various sparrows. Okay, hedgehog. So this hedgehog sparrow which is there, it is restricted to Palearctic region only. It is not found in any other area. Similarly, we have giant panda, and similarly we have amphibians over here, which includes obviously the salamanders, then all the anurines like frog, toad, tree frog, everything. Similarly, we have got Pisces over here. So in Pisces, or that is fishes, we have as such there is no endemic fish in this particular region, but obviously we have many carp, salmon, perches, eels, petromyzon, all of it. The second region comes as Nearctic region. So this Nearctic region is a part of New World, wherein it includes the North America region, okay, which includes the so it is up to middle of Mexico, and this region which is there, it includes the Greenland, Iceland, Mexican plateau. Then we also have so this is quite similar to Palearctic region, because obviously both of them being on the northern side or towards the North Pole, they have quite similar climatic conditions. Okay, but anyhow, the total thing, if you study again, there are 120 of families of vertebrates, which includes 26 families of mammals, 4 bird families, 21 reptiles, 14 amphibians and 24 fishes. So when we talk about the mammals over here, again same thing, that this region can be divided into 4 various things. First is called as Californian region, which includes basically the British Columbia and all. And then you have Rocky Mountain subregion, which will include the mountainous region of California. Then we have Allegheny region, which includes the eastern region of USA, where vampire bats, turkeys, opossum, mud eel are very, they will include these type of fauna. And finally, we have Canadian subregion, which will include again Canada, Greenland, Alaska. So the animals which are found over here, as you can see in the picture, there are pocket gopher, then pocket mouse, kangaroo rat, pronghorn turkeys, bowfin. So again 24 families of land mammals, which includes beavers, moles, jumping mice, everything, opossum. And then we have birds also over here. Now the birds includes there are almost 49 families of birds, which includes hummingbird, turkeys are there, quite golden plover is there. Then in reptiles we have many non-poisonous and poisonous snakes over here. Similarly in amphibia we have also see, you can see axolotl, then so it's a neotenic larva, and then we have eels, then we have tiger salamanders. So these are various amphibians found in this region. And talking about the fishes, we are going to have many fishes like polydon, that is paddlefish, bowfin, carps are there. Okay, so all of these will be found in this region. The third region which is there, that is going to be called as neotropical region. So when you talk about the neotropical region over here, it basically involves the South America, most of which is Mexico, West Indies, Caribbean islands. Okay, then we also have some south temperate zones over here. Okay, and there are some grasslands in the middle of Argentina. And then we also have a very long range of Andes, which are high mountains, like everyone might have heard about it. So again, this region includes 155 families of terrestrial vertebrae, out of which 33 are endemic. Now, what is the meaning of endemic? That these are not found in any other realms. It is restricted to this particular realm. Okay, and again, it has been divided into 4 subdivisions, that is Chilean subregion, Brazilian subregion, Mexican subregion, and Antillean subregion. So they are very unique animals. Okay, wherein mammals, when we talk about, there are 32 families of mammals, of which 16 are unique. Like the very famous one, obviously, are the shrews, various types of rabbits, squirrels, cats, deers. Then also again 2 species of llama is found. Then monkeys are there, various type of monkeys like spider monkeys, squirrel monkeys. All of them are found over here. Then sloths are there, armadillo. These all are endemic, so it is not found anywhere else, that is any other realm. So this is found only in this particular thing. Then 2-toed sloth is found over here. Then we also have 3-toed sloth. We have also electric eel. And then we have so many other animals. Birds are also there, like rhea is there. Okay, and then again we have a red-bellied macaw. And then quail is the only member of Galliformes over here. Again, bee humming bird is found in this. So almost 67 family of birds are found in the neotropical region, out of which 25 are endemic to this particular region. So basically these 25 family of birds are not found anywhere else. Okay, now let us move to the next one, that is Ethiopian region. Now when we talk about the Ethiopian region, let me tell you that this Ethiopian region is this area which is now this Ethiopian region is an old name, but now the name has been changed to African region. So it includes Africa, south of Sahara, Madagascar, and South Arabia. And as I told you before, that the previous name was Ethiopian region. Now the name has been changed to African region, because Ethiopia is more of a country, whereas African is more of a continent. So again, this area is divided into 4 sub-regions, that is East African sub-region, West African sub-region, South African sub-region, and Malay sub-region. Okay, so let us see what type of animals are found over here. So obviously, as we all know, that Africa is rich in its biodiversity. So there are almost 38 families of mammals, out of which 12 are exclusively found only in this region, and there are few which will be shared with neotropical and oriental region. So obviously in oriental, because Africa is quite close to oriental region, whereas neotropical again because it is quite south. Okay, so in this region we have animals like shrews, rabbits, squirrels, cats, antelopes, etc. One more important thing to note, that this region does not have any tigers, they don't have any camels or bears. Instead, there are some common animals with oriental region, that is pangolins are there, or monkeys, apes, cheetah. Then we also have elephants. So you can clearly make out difference between an African elephant and an Indian elephant. Obviously the size, everything, the trunk, the tusk, everything. Also they have giraffe, ostrich, black bear, spiny lizard is found in this area. So then we also have fishes like lungfishes. Okay, so these are various electric eels also found over here. Okay, and then we also have catfishes, carps, etc. in this particular region. So you can see these animals which have been found over here. Now let us move to the next part, which is called as Oriental region. again, Oriental region is the new name. Earlier it used to be called as Indian region by Sclater. But later onwards, Wallace had changed its name because India again is a country, whereas when you say Oriental region, it is more of a continent and it covers major realm. So this region includes Indian subcontinent. Okay, then it also includes the south of Himalayas, Myanmar, Thailand, Malaysia, Sumatra, Java, Philippines, and South China. So again, this can be divided into four regions, that is Indian subregion, Indo-China subregion, Ceylonese subregion, and Indo-Malayan subregion. So the animals which are found, so there are almost 30 families of mammals, of which 5 are endemic to only this area. Then the various mammals which are found is elephant, rhinoceros, that is one-horned rhinoceros is also found, monkeys, apes, pangolin, we have hyenas, pigs, red panda, all of it. But remember that we don't have any moles, tapirs, it is absent in Africa. So sorry, these are the things which were absent in Africa, but it is found over here. Okay, then peacock is there, one-horned rhinoceros, and various types of fishes are found over here, like mullets, mud eels are there. Okay, and obviously various other common types will be there. So these are the various things which are found in in Oriental region. And finally, let us move to the Australian region. So what will come in Australian region? So Australian subregion will again include this area. Now it includes the New Zealand, New Guinea, then Tasmania, Moluccas, and the neighboring islands. So again, the climatic condition is tropical and partly temperate. Okay, then there is also, we have Eastern Australia, which is covered with green forest. We have New Guinea, which is covered with rainforest. We have Western Australia, which is having desert, and then there are grassland in middle. So there is a huge climatic change over here. Okay, and then like Tasmania is cool, and this one. So the fauna, the animals which are found in Australian region, they're completely different as compared to any other realms. So again, it can be divided into four regions, that is Austro-Malayan subregion, Australian subregion, Polynesian subregion, and New Zealand. So you can see the animals, that is marsupial, mouse. So all the marsupials, they are found over here: spiny anteater, kangaroo, skink, Australian lungfish, cockatoo, emu is found here, or most of the flightless birds for that matter are found in these regions. So almost 58 families of birds are found over here. And then a lot of reptiles like snake-headed turtles, scale-footed lizards, Komodo dragon, crocodiles, turtles, all of that are found over here. Okay, and now so after seeing all the 6 things, now we need to understand that how animal has been distributed. What are the major things? One is called as, so this is the pattern when we talk about. So either it can be cosmopolitan, discontinuous, or bipolar distribution. That is, either the animals are found throughout the world, or there are some animal which are discontinuously found, that is it is found in one continent, it is not found in other. Whereas it can be bipolar, that is it is into two extreme ends. Okay, anyhow. So what are the factors which are affecting this distribution? So there are many factors, like animals that are found to occupy all diverse habitats wherever life is possible. They may not be identical. Then there can be a lot of complication into this distribution. Then the factors which control or check migration and dispersals are known as barriers. So there can be a lot of barriers due to which these animals are different. Okay, so what are these barriers? It can be physical barriers, climatic barriers, and biological barriers. So what we are trying to tell over here is that why is that African elephant looks so different from Indian elephant, or why the sloth bears or the salamanders of neotropical looks different from the other region. So there's a huge variety in the same animal in different land masses. So that is due to various barriers. Like the first one is physical barriers. So in topographical barrier, So these are various barriers. It can be mountain, it can be grassland, it can be anything, sea water. And due to barriers, the animals cannot travel from one place to another place, that is one continent to another continent, and that has created a distance, and they have evolved in their own places. Similarly, we have climatic conditions like temperature, moisture, and amount of light. So every animal, like animal who is living in India, will receive different amount of temperature. He will receive different amount of light as compared to the animal who is in America. There will be different temperature, there will be different climate, and different light intensity. So this makes the whole thing different, and they will be receiving various, obviously. So due to this huge climatic condition change, their growth, their habitat, everything will differ. Okay, and then obviously the biological barriers, that is sedentary habit and home range or territoriality, that is they cannot travel from one place to another place. They have their own territory, and hence they are not moving into another habitat. So how these animals might have dispersed, it can be through wind, storms, land bridges, transportation, everything, or human might have taken from one place to another place, whatever. But basically this is all about zoo geography, that is how animals are distributed in various places. Okay, so thank you.